Hey, good morning, good morning. How's it going? Kimberly, my greatest fan. Anyway, seems like it was a boring overnight. Intel getting hit pretty bad, down like 10%. And I don't know, let's jump into it. The index is kind of flat. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation right here, informational, educational, and fun, maybe a little entertaining, and not a recommendation to buy or sell any financial instrument. You desire that personal financial advice, consult a financial advisor. Yeah, so looky here, coming right up, continuing on the path. We're not that far from the green box. Now, big warning, big red flag. FOMC meeting coming up next Wednesday. And we could chug right on up here and find resistance right there. Now, maybe we've seen this chart. Look right up there, coming up, getting close to that resistance. And we have this 4,300 price up here where we kind of rejected back in August. So these are two major levels here. First being where we failed in this zone like twice before. And we're coming right up just below it yesterday from December. Coming right up just below it where we stopped back there in September. So, I don't know. Breakout or breakdown. We could see this return right back down toward the lows. This green box, we could bounce right back down, come to the bottom of that. Not what I hope for or expect, but it could happen. I just want you to be prepared. I did not update this chart, but I did in Discord, but I was kind of looking for this upper path potentially. So we could come up here, bounce back down, retest that trend line on the FOMC, and then break out. Now what that looks like on this chart, coming up here, coming back down. Let's sketch it on here. So we drift on up a little bit and then come down for a retest. All right, any questions on that one? It's looks highly likely to happen. A lot of times on trend line breakouts, we pop above, we come back retest. If we can hold it, then we go higher. And that's exactly what this chart was kind of defining, and the target's off the top here. But these arrows are going up, both of them going up toward the highs that we had from early last year, January 5th, last year. We're talking back here on this chart. That would be back over right up there. Back to 4,800. That's a crazy move, but not that crazy. So that's what I'm kind of looking for right now. ES, pretty boring overnight. Was able to get out of the orange box finally and stay out of there, not just reject back down like we did here, here. But it didn't get continuation yet. Now, the chart I showed yesterday, we continued to consolidate down in here most of the day, and then right at the close, we popped above that high that we made pre-market, and we just stalled out. I'm still looking for this move up to 41.17. Now, if we stop at 41.17, this can be bearish, and we can go down and make a lower low that we back to that green zone below the trend line that I was talking about on S&P 500. ES is S&P 500's futures. Now, if we do extend up here to 41.60 or 42.16 in the next couple days before the FOMC and whatever chaos that might bring, I'm thinking FOMC is going to be the catalyst to to create a pullback. So if we can rally on up here in the next couple days, then that would be more bullish, and I would expect a back test of that purple trend line right here, and we bounce and go higher. So we may roll over, and like even though we're above the trend line, we may roll over and come retest this zone right down in here, 36.85 area. We could come test that. So I'm cautious on this whole thing. Getting above this high right here should tilt this to more bullish. All right. So, all right. What's moving? What else is moving today? Well, NQ not really moving, and Russell not really moving. Russell's kind of riding its roadmap line overnight, while NQ and ES, that's S&P 500, a little bit above. NASDAQ a little bit above, getting a little chop, and Russell just kind of not performing as well. Now, dollar also getting some volatility, and on the bigger picture, dollar is kind of dropping out here. Now, for some reason, the headlines are saying, you know, dollar plummeting means that the petrodollar is gonna implode, whatever. No, that's not the way this works at all. Like, the dollar dropping reinforces the dollar's position as the world reserve currency, because people like to transact in dollars when they're cheap. So they dump their currency, go buy dollars, and go buy what they want, because they can get more of it when the dollars are cheap. So that's also something to keep in mind as we drop on off here. A lot of people have been talking about gold being a little crazy. Let's pull this up really quickly. Look at spot gold. Golf gold spot. Let's pull this one up. Let's turn on the inverse dollar here and put this in percent. So if we look at this, from about March last year, March 22 through now, we actually have gold outperforming the dollar, the inverse dollar. So this is as the dollar rose, and now as the dollar drops, gold is getting a little. You can see what happened last time. Gold got a little over the ski tips. It came right back down. So if we see the dollar rise at all, which pull back on this on the inverse dollar chart here, the purple line is inverse dollar, then gold could get a severe quick pullback, which kind of matches my expectation I was talking about on 30 Minutes of Awesome the last couple of weeks, that we need a pullback in gold. It's kind of getting a little overzealous here compared to the dollar move. Anyway, let's turn that one back off and get back at a percentage. Now another one moving, TCB Pharma, getting talked about. Looks like a little pre-market spike up $1, but I mean, that just looks like garbage right there. I wouldn't jump into that. And you may see it, talked about today, but and then Intel, getting a little chop here. Pfizer's on the list there. We're not taking requests. We're just going through what's moving. So Intel getting smacked down about 10%. And yeah, they didn't say anything that was positive for the market. I mean, earnings were missing on the top and the bottom, and looks pretty bad. Intel needs to get its crap together. That's 9 out of the last 10 quarterly earnings calls. They have missed the numbers. Just not doing too good at Intel over there. They need something happening. ORGN getting talked about on StockTwits. No idea what the news is, but got major resistance right up here at, coming up at 6, it looks like. PFE making some news with Project Veritas, however the heck you say that. One of their cronies over there, talking about doing their own gain of function research on viruses and then building vaccines that it sounded like some sketchy stuff, but coming up with vaccines for viruses that don't yet exist in the wild, and having them on the ready so they could just unload them when that virus got out in the wild. That sounded a lot like what just happened back in 2020 to me, and how they could profit off of that. So that was, if you're not sure, just Google Project Veritas, however you spell it, and Pfizer. Whole interview on that. CVX came up near the previous highs, getting a pullback. Visa popping on earnings, it looks like. Getting a nice little boost here. Have to jump down to the time frame. Yeah, nice little spike up. Potential breakout on Visa. AXP. Nice little spike there. Credit card companies, while they are looking at high defaults consistent with the last financial crisis, they're also making out like bandits on the fact that prime plus 10% or whatever is getting to be like 30% interest. So and we just, in December, numbers came out. Consumer credit hit record numbers of record trillions of dollars on the credit cards. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of profits potentially, although it can be a lot of defaults too. So keep a watch if you're trading AXP, Visa, or MasterCard. LNG getting a nice little pop. They should be working on our restart here soon. Looks like they're not really moving pre-market, but their fortunes could be turning here. So yeah, coming back up. Need to get back above that roadmap line on the daily. Back above 156. That'd be what I'm watching for. And a bunch of these came off of stock twits getting talked about this morning. Looks like GT, Goodyear Tire, getting smacked down on some sort of news. I mean, that's looks like pre-tax charges. So 5% reduction in go out. See, this one should have been bullish, but that one's kind of bearish. So not sure. Usually layoffs are bullish in Papa stock because their costs are reducing. So Hasbro coming in with a horrible outlook and getting smacked down like $4 there. It's not too good for Hasbro, but fits with the recession. I mean, come on, people don't got money. Record inflation, recession. Come on, let's not be goofy about this. So GNTX also getting hit a little bit. It looks like it's going to come back to the roadmap line on the daily. That's what I would expect right there. Color my arrow back to blue. Crack hitting my alert pre-market, although it doesn't show it moving pre-market, but I got an alert fire off here a few minutes ago. Yeah, a little bit of sketchy price action on the 15-minute there. It's not a highly liquid one, but that sucker's likely to go right back up to this 36 area. And that's a measured bounce setup right there. The extension is way on up there. I don't have it drawn on here. Get it fine-tuned. And a little bit high for measured bounce, but let's see. Targets would be right on up here around 40 and 42. That looks pretty good. Now, one I closed out yesterday, posted this in the community tab. Boot, running through all the targets here. That was a measured bounce setup, just the same as crack there. This one was more ideal, bouncing right at the 618, getting a little upside, and ran right up through both targets. I closed it down. And somebody asked me if it can get extensions. Well, sure, it can get extensions, but the likelihood is for this retrace at this point. Some sort of retrace. Or at least a rest period. Because, I mean, look at that move. That was $12 move? $15 move from the close right here to that on the earnings. And the earnings were missed on the top and beat on the bottom. So, crazy for retail right there. A dichotomy of stories there between Hasbro and Boot Barn. And then Bitcoin just sitting in this consolidation right at the bottom. Well, we're not even getting to the top yet. So, cautious on that one. We may see a retrace right back down to the daily roadmap line right down here. Cautious. Back above 25K is going to be more bullish because we're going to be above these highs right here. That's what I really need to see out of Bitcoin right now. Pop up here. Now we've been kind of running on. Look at the pattern here. Just a small pattern. It's not a like. We've only done this a couple times. We popped up, rest for 5 days, pop up, rest for 6 days. Do we get another pop up or do we push down? So that'll be one to see if we can, that could be the rest for 5 days and then we push up again. So just watch out for, if you start getting alerts for Bitcoin breaking out higher today, it's probably going to run right up to the top of the box, about 25,000 on this next move. And it can take a couple days. I mean, so that's one to watch. I'm going to reset me an alert right in here, about 24 or 23.5-ish. Can't quite get it. That's close enough. Go with that. All right, that's what's moving and not moving today so far. And looks like the market just opened, getting a little chaos. And S&P looking for it to push on up to this 40.93 area today. All right. Still bullish. Yesterday I was bullish and it worked out bullish. Today, still bullish. Looking for that. Although a pullback can happen. So be careful, be cautious with your money. And I'll see you guys on Monday. Remember, FOMC coming up next Wednesday. So be careful on your positions. All right. Book some profits if you got them just to be on the safe side. I don't know. We may get a big pullback on that. So, all right. See you guys later. And if you're in Discord, come ask me whatever questions you got. I'll answer them. See you guys later. Bye.